You are tuned into the sounds of UrbanX.
So, if you see the cover, we mentioned in the pre-show, today is the 49th birthday of hip-hop.
Hip-hop culture.
Hip-hop culture.
Yeah.
So, and this is like, you know, the date that is kind of recognized because you can't really pinpoint a date to this.
Yeah, I mean,
There's so many different facets that kind of...
Well, again, I like to say this paradigm of hip-hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, because we give things starting points and end points. So the party that Herc gave in 1973, August 11, which started in the community center, it was 25 cents for ladies, 50 cents for fellas to get in. Just go to show you how far back we talking. And it got so crowded, it had to be moved to the park. And that's where Cedar Park, 1973, was born. And, you know, so that's how that thing began to pop off. And from there, you know, one thing led to another thing led to another. And we speak about it. Now, people been jamming in the park before then. But, you know, the songs was Love Was the Message. There was a lot of disco songs and stuff like that. So it was a lot of DJs like Grandmaster Flowers and a lot of other DJs who were playing, you know, like disco records. So people was out. Brothers in Brooklyn was too clean to get on the floor. They would have their, you know, their little jacket over their arm and they'd be partying. And then the clubs became big. So DJ Hollywood and these guys began to rock clubs and the Apollo Theater and the down and dirty, so to speak, didn't have nowhere to go. We couldn't get in. We had on sneakers, we had on shell tops, we had Adidas on. So a void was filled when we could go to the park and just be who we were. So when we speak about the culture and other people saying, well, hip-hop started here, hip-hop started there, I'm not going to have that argument tonight. I just know I saw B-boys, because you know, when you speak of hip-hop, you got to talk about its totality. Mm-hmm. I saw B-boys and B-girls. I saw graph writers, DJs, MCs converge in the Boogie Down Bronx. It was down and dirty. And so when we speak about all of those elements, we kind of say if we're going to give it a reference point, mm-hmm. that 1973 was that reference point. But there are those who can argue others. But remember, still spread very fast. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you say, nah, I remember hip-hop started in this park in Brooklyn, it's not to say you're lying. It's just to say, you know, how fast these things spread. And, you know, take it from there. So 49 years of the culture growing. That's a half a century.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, it's 49. Okay. It's
50 is the half.
Okay. See, I hate technical people. All right, it's 49, 50. What's the difference?
Just saying.
I give you $49, give you 50. You gonna complain?
Yes.
All right. So you know, here we are at this present moment, at this precipice. You know, talking about. Oh, somebody's got a birthday today.
We text them.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we do. So you know, I'm happy, and then I'm sad and disappointed. And I'll speak about that in my closing statements.
Okay.
Tonight, and you know, my good points and bad points.
You know, I was thinking about, remember that Netflix show, The Get Down?
Yeah.
Really, it was really, well, the first part was really good.
It really was. It really was.
And, like, they just didn't have the budget because when they came back for, like, the second part of the first season, if you remember, it was, like, a lot of animated scenes.
Yeah, they started.
That's when I knew. I was like, oh, they don't got the budget, like, to you know, to really do this anymore.
Yeah, they started wilding.
And... Yeah. I felt like they were trying to do a little too many subplots. If you guys like really remember the show, it was a really good show, but they tried to like make Shao gay. They tried to make
then they started wilding with the story.
They made Jaden Smith's character gay. It was
but I thought the Get Down, because that's what we basically called that part of the record. Like the whole record was whack.
Yeah,
we was only looking for the Get Down.
Yeah, and I thought like when that was out, I thought that caused like so much conversation and a lot of education because kids didn't know like, okay, wait, this is what happened. Then they brought the blackout when everybody started getting their equipment. And
the equipment came. Yeah. Everyone had. See, there were certain principles for hip hop artists back then. They were the elite. Mm-hmm. If you had equipment, you were elite. If you was on that side of the ropes, like, and you might have just carried the speaker or the amp, you was down by law. And to look at the crowd from that side of the rope, it meant you was important in some capacity. You know what I mean? So the fact that you had 2 turntables and all of this stuff, and like I always tell people, the first doers, the first receivers were just as important as the first doers. So when Herkinen was doing it, lo and behold, in the crowd was Grandmaster Flash and all these other people going, what the fuck is this shit right here? Look into dudes was covering the records. You couldn't even walk by and see what the record. So digging in the crates was a science. You know what I'm saying? How to get the juice from the electric pole, knowing how to do that was a science. So all of this became a part of the culture. And then when we get to the break beats, which made Herc famous. That's what I tell people why we say Herc was one of the originators of the culture, because of the break beat. I'm not going to get into all of did a Jamaican start hip hop. He wasn't playing Jamaican records. And remember, reggae music is bass driven, hip hop music is beat driven. All right, so if he came and he was playing and all of that shit, then I could say, well, he brought the culture over. He didn't. He was playing James Brown and all of these Bob James records and all of these American artists and the get down part, right? And because sometimes he didn't have 2 copies of it, he'd have to pull the needle back and hope that it was on point. And most cases it wasn't, because what are the chances? So now it's like, so if I go down to do my move and the record skip, because I used to spin on my head, I was a b-boy first. And then if the DJ fuck it up, now I just lost a battle to homie. You know what I mean? Who's getting ready to do some ill shit, right? And then when we speak about, they just celebrated Coke LaRock, who was a part of the Herculoids as the first hip-hop DJ. Herc would do these small, in Coke LaRock would do these small nursery rhymes, but most of the things he was doing was shouting out gangsters. Shout out, dude, yeah, a shout out. A shout out was some big shit. That was some shit. Niggas shout you out. Yo, shout out so and so. That means you was somebody in the community. Some dudes used to pay homie and be like, yo, say yo so and so, tell him, yo Wayne, go move your car. Not me, yo Kev, yo, you gotta go move your car. Kev ain't got no car. But if he's standing there next to a couple of shorties and they go, oh shit, I'll be right back, I gotta go move my car, that shit was big shit. So the shout out was deeply important.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, that's true talk. And then we would ride around in these cars called an OJ. So the OJ, you had to pay $3 or $4, and he would drive you around for about an hour or 2, and you would pop in the latest Cold Crush tape or something. That was big because I can only afford it like on Easter. You know what I'm saying? Me and my niggas get together, you got $1, I got $1. Let's rent an OJ, you know what I'm saying? And let's make sure we turn that shit up loud when we get down certain blocks. There'll be little shorties. Be like, yo, these niggas is in an OJ. All of these things was big for us. As I did my hip hop piece last week, I spoke about the AJs and overlaps and this and that, but there was one test, it was called the mock neck test. Now the mock neck test, we had fake British walkers, niggas that fake shit, and the mock neck test, the old dudes on the block would clown you. They'd be like, shorty, that ain't a real mock neck. I'm like, fuck you, my mock neck is real. So they would pull your shit and count to 10.
That'll ruin any shirt.
But no, the mock neck shit, that shit snapped back. That shit is go paya. My shit, I'm praying, I'm like, I know this shit is garbage. And then my shit be all stringed out. Niggas count to 10, my shit don't bounce back and shit. They're like, come on. I'm like, why you had to do that, son? You knew my shit was fake, son. Then they had the British Walkers and they had the British Knights. Now the British Knights didn't look like British Walkers, but they almost did. You could pull it off if you was walking fast, or it was late at night. You could pull it off, but those wasn't British Walkers. Those are British Knights. They had a thinner rubber than the British Walkers. So you know, these are all the nuances of hip hop that you kind of had to be there to understand. So back to the story. When Flash saw the problems Herc was having. You know, putting the record back in the same place, him, under the study of DJ Smokey and the Smokatrons. People don't talk about that because Smokey was doing that. He figured out a way to just keep the record on time. The record on time changed the world because now I could MC on it.
Yeah.
Now I could, hip, hop, a hip, a hip, a hop. You don't stop. You could do all of those things and fall in rhythm because prior to that, B-boys couldn't get off,
right,
and the MC couldn't get off. I want a piece of pie. Pie too sweet. I want a piece of meat. The meat too tough. I want to ride the bus. The bus too full. I want to ride the bull. The bull too fat. I get my money back and you don't stop. That was a Melly Mel rhyme. He wrote that shit. And when you heard, now you hear, you go, what the fuck? When you heard, you say, oh, he telling that shit.
Yeah.
Flash was the first thing to come out with a beatbox. Back then, Flash is on the beatbox going do, 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 do. So Flash was very innovative and creative. I don't want to take any of that away from him. So that's a brief breakdown of just some hip hop history, and wanted to share that with you as we come upon 50 years and some amazing things should be happening and could be happening. You should have
wore your gold chain today.
I should have wore the gold chain today. Yes. Yes. The show's not over.
Black mass, man, it's time to rock. I had to find a way, I couldn't find it.
Hey, what's up? If you like what you just saw and you want to see the full, uncut, raw, uncensored podcast, hit the link below. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the entire year. Get all of the content. Get Black Dot in his rawest form. Get a bunch of exclusive content never before seen by anybody else, and you can only be a member to see it.
Become a member now. Click the link below. Peace.